What is going on? Welcome to episode 46 of the Nintendo Powercast. I'm your host, N64 Josh. Today, Player 2, Captain Logan. Player 3, Scrap Gear. Hello, boys.
Hello.
This is going to be fun. We're going to do a Super Mario Odyssey spoiler cast. So I'm telling you right now, if you have not listened to Odyssey, or have not played Odyssey, and you don't want anything spoiled, don't listen to this. That's what I was getting to. That's where listen was coming from. Don't listen to this if you haven't played Mario yet, okay? Because we're going to talk about all the spoilers. So much, in fact, I can pretty much guarantee you that I'm going to have stuff spoiled for me because I haven't completed it all yet. But I'm willing to make that sacrifice for you. Before we get started, if you'd like to get yourself a free book from Audible, you can go to audibletrial.com/NPC. There you can get yourself a free audiobook. And I've been recommending Super Mario, How Nintendo Conquered America. Spoiler, guys, the author's going to be a guest on the show. So check that book out because it's awesome. And we get to meet the author very soon here. We're just trying to get the date scheduled. So pretty exciting. That's audibletrial.com/NPC. The chair I'm sitting in, OP Seat. That's opseat.com. Use coupon code. Kirby's throwing me off. Use coupon code N64Josh to save $10. And that's opseat.com. Oh my gosh, thank you, Kirby. She just typed in the chat, Josh is glad he beat the story so he can do this show. So, no, she's not throwing any shade yet. And she's not waiting. She's just like, let's get this going here. opseat.com. Coupon code N64Josh. Lastly, guys, if you're thinking about starting your own podcast, use the hosting company that I use, which is Podbean. It's unlimited. You can upload as many shows as you want for $14.99 a month. Go to podbean.com/NPC, and you'll help support this show if you end up starting your own. So they even have a free trial. So go check it out and see if it's for you. Podbean.com/NPC. I want to say, hey, to everybody that's here with us, Kirby Geek, K-Cross, welcome, guys. Anybody that's just lurking, thank you for hanging out with us. We are going to jump into Super Mario Odyssey spoiler cast. We even have a few notes. Funny story. I have like the level breakdown, and it stopped at a certain point, and Scrap Gear messaged me this morning. He's like, hey, are we going to do all the levels, or... like, are we leaving some out? I'm like, I'm not. In all honesty, I fell asleep typing these notes on my phone last night. Like, it was late. I had a very odd evening with some weird things going on. And, like, literally, I had to sleep on my couch, not because my wife was mad at me. And so I'm trying to work on these notes and literally fell asleep, like, mid type or whatever. So she's not mad, I promise. She's probably always mad, but what, she puts up with me.
Somebody say something? I didn't hear anyone say anything.
Yeah. So I just kind of want to shout you guys out real quick. Captain Logan, you've been doing some streaming recently, right?
Yeah. My streaming has been kind of off mode for a while because there was a little thing. I don't know if you guys know about like Overwatch, but there's this thing called BlizzCon.
Yeah.
It's kind of a big deal where I'm at. So I actually been pretty much AFK, living the Blizzard lifestyle for this whole last weekend. So I haven't gotten to do anything except be enthralled by everything Blizzard does. So I've been a little disappointed with my streaming schedule, but I'm going to try and pick it up in the coming weeks so that I can actually play some games without having to worry about getting distracted by conventions.
Cool, man. Awesome. Scrap, tell us where you're from real quick. I think you were on one of the first episodes of NPC, if I remember correctly.
Something like that. It was around... little...
Like episode 2 or 5 or something. Yeah, so the show's going to be a year old in like 3 or 4 months. So
yeah. I am one of the hosts of the Geek Ghost Gaming podcast, where we actually just switched gears to talking about all Nintendo, because me and my co-host Draco Augustus have pretty much just been playing the Switch. Like we played a bit of Xbox, and we're like, I'm gonna go back over to my Switch now. So
Nice.
we decided to switch gears to all Nintendo.
Cool, man. Awesome. I saw your new artwork has got Boo and Boo with a beard, so I was like, ooh, I like that. That's good. And I know it ain't Draco's beard because he's a fireman.
Yeah.
Poor dude. Press F, right? There we go.
Yep.
So let's talk Mario Odyssey. We've all played it. We've all beat it. Scrap Gear's like, I've 100%. He messaged me when he's like, hey, you're doing a spoiler cast? I'm 100% on this game. I'm like, what do you mean 100%? He's like, 100%. I'm like, no, what do you mean 100%? Like 100%.
I think when I messaged you, I was just missing one of the outfits, and that was the one that costs the max coins, the skeleton one. But I've got that now, so
you're good to go. You're good to go. Now you're just hoping for DLC. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Well, hey, we got a question right off the bat. And so it says, what was your guys' favorite boss?
That's easy. That's super easy. I'm just gonna say it right now. Well, we're doing a spoiler cast.
It's spoiler cast. Remember, spoiler alert.
Okay. So in the Ruined Kingdoms, seeing that giant dragon just blew my mind. Like we'd already kind of seen the Ruined Kingdoms from the World Championship, but we didn't know what it was. So when I got to that world and I got to do that fight, I was just like, oh, this is amazing. Mario seriously fighting a giant dragon in this world that looks like Castlevania? I'm down. I am sold. Sign me up. We're good.
Good to go. How about you, Scrap?
That is a really good fight against the dragon. I'd have to say, I still gotta say, Bowser is still my favorite boss in Mario. Period. Of course, he's one of my favorite Mario characters, but that's beside the point.
That fight with Bowser was awesome. The hat with the boxing gloves. I'm like, hey,
that was awesome.
Hey, like one of the things we're gonna talk about is the nods to older games, like Hello Punch Out. Like.
Yeah, that was a really good fight, and it was well crafted because the timing is perfect for that game too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's definitely one for me. I liked the one we saw at the Nintendo World Championships. I don't remember the name of the boss, forgive me. But where you get to control the hands, it just felt very very Super Mario Galaxy. That's just what it reminded me of, and I love that. I loved all the bosses in that game. So like, I think one of the things that was really great about all the boss fights and everything is like you had, and this will kind of get into our story breakdown. Bowser wants to get married. He wants to get hitched. He's like, "Hey Peach, you're gonna be my wife." She's like, Mario, like, that was pretty much the gist of the story. But
that's how it started.
Yeah. So he kidnaps Peach. Hey, it's a Mario game. What? This is happening again? Like,
well, before we even it starts out like mid battle too. Like that was the coolest thing. It felt like a James Bond movie starting out with that. It was just like, oh my gosh. I'm already in it. Let's do it. Let's do this. And then he just gets blown off the ship, and I'm like, wait, no,
come back.
Not the hat.
Yeah.
That was the saddest part, though. Seriously, like that hat getting shredded as the airship was like flying off. I was just like, man, that's his thing, man. Can't be Mario without the hat.
So, Bowser wants to get hitched, and he has wedding planners who basically got to play the part of like kind of almost like mid-level bosses. Isn't that how would you guys kind of consider them like that? Kind of like Super Mario 3 where it was like you had the little the mini castles with I can't remember the character's name. Somebody in chat will yell at me and then tell me. Boom Boom. There you go. Thanks. Which was like that's what it felt like to me. Like they were just mid-level bosses, and I was like, "This is cool," because it's like, how many times are we going to fight these things? It seemed like over and over and over again. But there was a variation to all of them. I almost wonder if Kirby's saying Bowser didn't even make his own son the ring bearer or his best man. Loses some dad points for me. I wonder if initially they weren't going to be Koopa kids. And
Yeah.
when Rabbids came out, I wonder if they were like, you know what, we're gonna tip the hat to Ubisoft and turn these critters, these wedding planners, into giant white crazy looking rabbits. I have no. I'm just literally throwing that off the top of my head. There's nothing to back that up. But I, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know.
It's interesting.
Uh,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I think Mario plus Rabbids for Nintendo was one of those like I don't know, is it going to do well? Is it not? Because it is the crossover. Plus, I think it came out too late in the development cycle to be like, oh, now we're going to change, the 4 Koopa kids that we had before.
Yeah,
we're going to change them to these rabbits because of the Mario plus Rabbids. So
yeah, and that could totally be the case. The other side of it is they could have fallen in love with Mario plus Rabbids way early on and said,
yeah, that's true.
hey, this is they just kind of knew. They just kind of knew it was going to be good. But either way,
they are kind of unprecedented, aren't they? Like we've never had these kind of rabbits before, except for the one in Super Mario 64 that we had to chase down, and even that's in this game. But the big rabbits, like we've never seen anything like this as far as I know.
We've seen some moon rabbits in Mario Galaxy.
Yeah, they were in that game.
Which are in this one too.
Yeah.
Since we're getting into spoiler territory.
Yep.
Darker Side of the Moon, we actually get that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love throwing I love throwing my hat at the rabbit. I know I'm probably a terrible person, but I love it. So Bowser wants to get married. He's got wedding planners. He's like, we need everything for this wedding. So he goes to all of these different kingdoms and is like, hey, here's the ring, and here's the flowers, and here's the meal, and so on and so forth. And Mario's chasing him with his new sidekick, Cappy. Sorry, Luigi, you were replaced by a hat.
That makes me sad.
Well, hey, you know what? Player 2's a hat now, so that's cool.
Yeah.
What this game, to me, the way they built this game and the way they laid out the story and the way you move from kingdom to kingdom, it's different. It's different than any other 3D Mario game. Like some people will ask me like, well, what's your favorite Mario game? And typically I like to break them up. I'm like, you've kind of got 3D Mario and you've kind of got 2D Mario. That's how I kind of try to look at it. And this game did something that no other 3D Mario game has done before, and it really took away its ability to be linear. Other than a few stages where it's like you have point A to point B and no Cappy, which is totally a throwback to Sunshine, you go where you want. You don't have to stop playing. They encourage so much exploration. It's unreal. It's unreal. And so, I mean, I don't know. Again, we're going to kind of be all over the place just talking about how great this game is, because it's just like I feel like I don't have to like watch what I'm going to say right now because we're doing the spoiler cast. So, Kirby says I kind of wanted to make Bowser my own wedding planner.
What really feels great about the difference in how we progress from different kingdom to kingdom is with other older games, the Mario 3 kind of started it where we had different worlds and we went from world to world to world, or actually the original even. I mean, it was always by warp pipe, and now we actually have like a ship and we're kind of traveling across the world. And every time we went to a new kingdom, it was always like this giant arcing yellow line that would go to the next continent, and it kept making this kind of nostalgic feeling for like Indiana Jones, where you see him like montaging across the country to go find like the quest for the Grail or the Ark or the Covenant and stuff, and it really gives you the sense like you're on this adventure and you're going to see so much awesome stuff, and each kingdom is going to be its own world and its own feeling, and there's going to be people there with their own customs, and it feels like that's kind of what Nintendo is wanting to do do with Mario. They're saying like, hey, be a vessel for all these people that want to go out and explore all these different worlds that are way different than what you're used to in just the Mushroom Kingdom, and get a chance to see what life is like from their perspective. And in the meantime, you're still going to be chasing after Bowser. You're still going to be saving Princess Peach, and you have a new sidekick who can teach you some new tricks while you're at it. So it's like, don't be afraid to learn. Don't be afraid to put yourself out in a world that you're not quite sure what's going on. Be okay with dressing as do as the Romans, and dressing as the people do in their culture. And it's so nice and it's so refreshing, especially right now in this kind of time that we're in right now, where there's so much fear going around about different cultures and different peoples and different religions and stuff. To see a game like this come out and have it be so diverse and have it be so open to exploring the world and getting to see these different things, it's such a breath of fresh air to be able to do this and to have so much freedom while we're doing it. We can explore, we don't have to explore. We can do as much as we want. We don't necessarily have to take on bosses. We can just swim around and find little alcoves that have power moons, and then when we're done, we'll go off to the next one. And it's something that I've never seen done in a game so well with an IP that is so cherished.
Yeah, I know for myself, like I was a big achievement hunter, right? And so games like Assassin's Creed would come out, and it's like, hey, find 900 flags, or even Zelda, find 900 Korok seeds. You're like, what? But and those were that felt like a chore to me, right? I'm not doing this. But with this game, I can't get the smile off of my face the entire time I play it. Like, that's the biggest thing that separates this game from Zelda for me, is just the smile that never leaves my face. It's just such a blast. It's just such a blast. So, story breakdown a little bit more. Mario catches up to Bowser. They fight it out. Then one of the coolest things that I've ever experienced in a Mario game. You throw the hat onto Bowser, and you see all these flashbacks from when you were fighting Bowser in all the different games, right? Or at least a lot of them. It kind of was happening fast, so I'm like, I know I spotted Mario 3, and I think I spotted Mario World, but...
So I actually, this whole time, as soon as Bowser was laying unconscious to Peach, I'm like, it's gonna happen. We're gonna get Bowser. I'm gonna get to be Bowser outside of a Smash Brothers or like a Mario Kart. This is awesome. So I was seriously like, I'm so glad that they put that 30-second clip recording in for this game, because like the whole time I'm just like, save. Oh god, I gotta play. Save. And I went back and I started actually watching these clips, and I'm like going frame. I'm like, frame two, frame 3, frame 3. This is awesome. Oh my god. And I watched the whole sequence of him diving into Bowser's brain, and it goes completely in sequence all the way up to Mario 64. You get Mario 1, Mario 3, Super Mario World, and then you get Mario 64. And it's every end boss battle that you had with him. It's Mario jumping over him to hit the axe to have him fall in the lava. It's him smashing down into the bricks in Mario 3 till he falls to his doom. It's all of those, just all like, and it's just this giant spiral, and it's so perfect because they're weaving in like the story about him getting Peach and then trying to have the wedding, and it's like, you see why Bowser hates Mario so much just with it, and it makes you wonder, like, maybe that's why at the very end Mario's kind of like, I feel for you, bro. You love her like I love her. She doesn't want either of us. The
bro moment between Mario and Bowser, that was awesome.
Yeah.
When they realized they only had each other.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's okay.
Don't worry.
But I mean,
Peach is gonna do her own thing. It's okay.
Like,
so funny.
I wish I could have been a fly on the wall during the meetings of like how they came up with that final encounter with Bowser, and then after you throw the hat on him, and what happens, like the way you just throw Peach on your shoulder and you just go for it, and you're just destroying everything. You know what it really kind of had for me? It almost had like a Halo moment where it was like, like that warthog trying to get off of the Pillar of Autumn. Like I was like, this is cool. You're just smashing through walls with Bowser. Then it goes 8-bit, and I was like,
oh yeah,
I could not believe it. I could not believe it. I was just like, this is so good. This is so good. So you go 8-bit, and I was like happy when I died, because I'm like, I get to play this 8-bit stuff even longer, like I wasn't mad about it at all. And so
what's great is the little bit, the little detail they put in where he's so big, he's like shoving himself into that pipe, and you're just like, how is he gonna make it? And he's like, and then you're like, oh yes.
Yeah.
It was so cool.
I remember the first time I got to that part, and I got to this, like, is it gonna make me get out of Bowser, knock him forward, and I gotta jump through this with Peach? And then I see him go in the pipe, and it's like, yes.
Kirby says, I think everyone captured that moment on their Switch. I think I forgot I could capture anything at that point. The game had captured me. So
yeah.
let's be honest here. I totally forgot about it. That's okay. I'll do it on my next time through. That's right. I might replay this. Don't have a heart attack, Kirby. Don't. It'll be okay. So yeah, and then you finish you're playing as Bowser. You land back down. Peach is safe. Mario and Bowser are trying to hand her a bouquet, and she's like, I want to go explore. And she's like, these worlds all looked awesome. I want to go see them a little closer. Bye, boys. Wah, 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 wah. So
that was really good too. I love that they gave her the agency, that she wasn't just like a prize to be won. It's like, nah, she just got dragged across the entire world and the moon, saw all this stuff, but it was all like as a captor. And then she's like, nah, I think it's time for a vacation. I'm gonna go check out these places.
Mm-hmm.
That was great. I love that in this, just her being able to make that decision on her own and not be like, oh, well, which one of these two boys do I choose to marry? Because that's the thing I do.
No. She was like, thank you, Mario, but your wife is in another castle. So let's just kind of break down the levels, because it almost feels like after you finish the game, like, it didn't feel like it. There was a level of a feeling of, okay, I completed it, but I felt like I just had so much more to do, and I couldn't wait to get back to it, which is not something I typically feel. I mean, Super Mario Brothers did this. If you guys remember beating 8-4 and then starting the game back up again, all the Goombas were replaced with Beetles. And so it was like, oh, new adventure. Well, it's really not a new adventure. There was some more it was harder, right? It was just a little more difficult. But
do you think that they should have maybe held the story off for a little bit longer?
No,
they should have.
I don't, because I think what this game does so well is I don't even know how they did it, honestly. Like when I start to think about it, it hurts my brain a little bit, because they not only made this game work for the completionist as much as they made it work for the speedrunner, all at the exact same time. And I think that's part of what makes it so magical, is because it's like, how are they able to make that a thing? Like, you could literally complete this game. Like, Jaywitz is one of the he's a pretty big YouTuber, but he's been streaming on Twitch, and I've been watching him do some speed runs every now and again when I can, and he's got it down to like an hour and 20 minutes. He can beat the game.
Wow.
Or at least the main story. Yet, if you were like, I'm not leaving this area till I have every moon, the game is as long or as short as you want it to be, and I've seen some people say, oh, I think it should be longer. okay, I can understand why you would say that, but you have to make the choice to make it longer or shorter. It's kind of on you. I like the fact that the freedom is there to like go, you know what? I really liked that Odyssey story. Like I'm going to stream for 4 hours. I want to see if I can beat it, and just go for it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's great. I don't see anything wrong with that. If it bothers you, I mean, whatever, that's cool. But for me, it doesn't bother me whatsoever. So, but
That's kind of how Breath of the Wild was too. I mean, if you wanted to go to Ganon's castle, they'd let you go to Ganon's castle and fight him.
Mm-hmm.
They gave you the opportunity. Once you got off the Great Plateau, you're like, hey, do you can go check out some of these other places if you feel like you want to power up. But, dude, if you want to go fight some Guardians and kill Bowser, like, Zelda's waiting.
He said Bowser. Ganon.
No.
It's okay.
I mean, for me, the length of the game, it took me a solid week of no lifing this game to 100% it.
Oh, I'm so jealous.
It popped up. It is now my second most played game. I think I have Zelda still at, or Breath of the Wild at about 110 hours. This I have at 60 or more hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't even know what mine's at. I haven't looked, but I know it's not. I know it's. There's no way it's that much. I think for me it was probably between 10 to 12, maybe a little bit more.
Yeah. Well, and that's because for me, what I did is with each kingdom, I went and got as many of the moons as I could, and then there are so many moons that you can't get until after you've beaten Bowser. But like, so for each of the kingdoms, like I think the Sand Kingdom initially has like 84 moons, I think, or something. I think it has.
Holy cow!
But you can only get up to like 69 of them on your first time through. Once you beat Bowser, then you can get the rest of them.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So,
yeah. So let's break down the levels. Cascade Kingdom. It's kind of where you start, right?
Yeah.
And Cap Kingdom.
Little.
I would say, yeah, you kind of get your feet wet on Cap Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
You get to play around a little bit. It's nothing too major. It is more like the prologue, but I mean, you have to start there, right?
For sure. Yeah. Yeah. I honestly don't even remember it at this point, like, because my brain is just mush. But I was just in Cascade forever, recollecting all the moons, running around like Captain Caveman, which I thought was great. But like I was playing the other night, just handheld and trying to find these moons. So I thought once you went back to the level and you hit that block that it unlocks all those other moons, that it showed me the rest of the moons that I needed to get. Well, I collected all of them, and I still had like 6 moons, and I'm like, duh, I have no idea where these ones are, So back to exploring. Well, I found it like a little cave or like a hat door or something, threw Cappy at it, and go in, and there's like all these little spiny critters everywhere, colorful spiny critters that are all over that level. Well, there's a T-Rex sleeping in the middle. I didn't see it till after I had gone through and killed all of the spiny things by myself. I'm like, man, all these blocks in here, looks like there should be a T-Rex. There he is, sleeping right in the center. Could have used you a minute ago, but no, I'm blind. So
I did the same thing. It's
same area? Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
Did the same thing.
So I have a clip of me running around like T-Rex, trying to find one of the moons. Kirby's like, should I just tell you where it is? I'm like, don't tell me yet. Like, let me keep trying. Right? I get to the edge, and I start to fall off as the dinosaur. So I jump, and I'm like, oh, it's like I killed Yoshi again. Right? Like, except I totally didn't make the jump. Like, we both ended up falling to our death, and I was dying. Like, I was dying in my chair. So I have a clip of that running. I think you can check my Twitch or my Twitter. It's out there. But
That's brutal.
I think I saw that earlier. Actually, it's right on my dashboard right when I load up Twitch.
Did you did you flip the T-Rex off as you were like getting back on?
No, I was like trying to throw my hat and um, all this other stuff, and it just wasn't working out. Poor Captain Caveman just didn't make it. But I mean, this is gonna be a really long show. That's all right. When we Cascade Kingdom, one of the coolest things I thought was throwing the hat into the chomps, the chain chomps, and then like that whole element of like pulling back and almost like winding them up like a pool shot, and then you have to start kind of making some of these pool shots in later levels with them and stuff. And it's just I could see people's like initial maybe disappointment of like, why isn't there any power-ups? Like, why don't I have a fire flower? Why don't I have Starman? Why don't I have like Galaxy had so many different like power-ups. It was like, this is cool, but they were all on a timer. Cappy gives you so many power-ups. I mean, you can be a Goomba. You could be a T-Rex. Like, you can be a T-Rex.
That was in that. I think I remember when we watched the saw at the very end of the trailer. They're like, "Oh, it's a giant T-Rex in Mario Odyssey. That's cool. I wonder what he's gonna." He's catchable. You can catch T-Rex. You could be a T-Rex, and that was such an amazing moment. Everyone's just like, "Oh my god, that's the most amazing thing. You can be a T-Rex." I think them doing that was such a good tactical move because right off the bat, the first one you go to after Cap Kingdom, you go and you get a T-Rex and you just smash around. There's not even that much to do like the first time through, but it gives you that idea of like, what else could you possibly be able to get with Cappy? You know, it gives you that spark that's just like, go try everything because you never know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and some of the creatures that you could capture, like, and we'll talk about it more as we get to these levels. But I mean, it just the different mechanics. It changed up the gameplay and just kind of kept it fresh as you got to each level, and they would teach you how to use these creatures as you were progressing, and then you'd have to use it in the boss fight, right? And I thought it was great that it was one of those things they never once were like, other than like, I shouldn't say never once, but like other than just like on screen, it would say, here's how you do this with this creature or whatever it is. A lot of it, and I usually didn't even pay attention. I was just like, oh, what does this do? And just start hitting buttons and going for it. And it was really cool. The one I'm thinking of in particular is the Wooded Kingdom, where you're the thing with the real long legs that you can.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
love
and
that thing.
So, and then using that later on to fight the boss, I thought it was great. And I didn't mention that earlier, but that was one of my favorite boss fights. Like, I loved jumping over the rings and all that stuff. So, well, let's move on to the Sand Kingdom. This is one of the kingdoms I had the most fun in right after Cascade. Like, Cascade was a blast, and I didn't rush through each of these things. Like, I sat and explored for a while. Sand Kingdom I explored for quite a while, and just kind of loved all the things I was seeing there. You see the Nintendog running around, you can throw your hat to him, kind of fun. He'll dig up a moon for you. You get to fish in that level, which I was like, oh, this is very much like Animal Crossing, so I'm like, I'm loving that, right? I mean, give me fishing in a game and I'm kind of done. I'm just like, no, I'll be good. I'm good for a while. We good, Then the lion comes out, right? And you like just are running everywhere. I don't know. What, Logan, what do you think of that level?
I actually I spent a long time, or I spent what I thought was a long time there. It turns out I wasn't even scratching the surface. I really love the things that they teach you as far as like the Nintendo, like, hey, every single world there's going to be a dog, and that dog's good for at least one power moon. But the aesthetic was just so beautiful. Usually I hate sand worlds because it means quicksand and angry suns, and I didn't have to worry about this as much, and that was refreshing because I loved having the sombrero and the poncho, and being able to. And it was the weirdest thing was is that it was all frozen too. Like it was such a break from traditional Sand Kingdoms that there was ice and Mario was shivering, and it was always kind of in the back of your mind like, oh, it looks hot but it's actually cold. And that was kind of like the one of the more intricate 2D samplings that they give you when you actually get like when you get the sombrero and the poncho and you go into the 2D world. That's when I actually really noticed. I was like, oh, they put some detail into the 8-bit sections of this game. Like Mario is just not Mario. If you got a full outfit, like you're going to be wearing that outfit. And when the music changes, that's so cool when it goes into that 8-bit style. So I really love that. There was some really good platforming in that one that I definitely I learned some new mechanics, especially with the I don't even know, like the rollers that kind of spit Cappy, and then they hit the circle guy that shoots out that ring, that Death Star explosion ring special effects TM. That I died to so many times.
That's only that's only in the news, the remakes. So we don't. Anyway,
sorry,
go ahead.
I didn't want to.
Yeah, go ahead. You're fine. You're fine. Go ahead.
We'll fix that in post, right?
Yeah,
We're just gonna cut that part out.
We'll just edit that later. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Good. But yeah, there was the finding the lion and doing the lion levels in the poison section where you actually have to go up and over some of the hills, and it's really narrow and it takes precision like platforming, but you're on this giant like galloping lion thing. Like that's inventive. Like it feels like Mario Kart, Rainbow Road style play that I hate so much, but is so much fun at the same time.
It's like Rainbow Road with really poor handling.
Yeah, it really is. It's painful, but it looked so good, and it was not my favorite world, but it was definitely one of the most well thought of worlds. Even with the long traversal across like the big escapes of land, I was still okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, I love the. I think it was that level. I think it was in the Sand Kingdom where you first encounter those statues with the sunglasses.
Yep.
Yeah, so that
was cool too.
That was pretty fun as well. So I think what we're going to do, let's just kind of talk about a few of our favorite areas, and then let's move on to the talking points, because we would end up, like, if we just keep going through these levels, we're going to be here for 3 hours. So
you don't want to do a 3-hour show?
I love you guys, but no. Yeah.
Shut down.
No, it's not you, it's me. So So Scrap, just give me a couple of your favorite levels from the game.
I would have to say my 3 favorite kingdoms to go to were the Wooded Kingdom, Seaside, and Bowser's Kingdom. Kind of starting off with the Wooded Kingdom, I just like the music in that stage that kingdom was my favorite, and even now, like if I'm going through and like when I'm grinding coins, I just pop that music on in the background because it's my favorite one. And my second favorite boss is actually the Wooded Kingdom boss.
Oh, cool.
With the stretchy onions.
Yeah. Stretchy onions.
That's a perfect name.
Yep. From this point forward, they will be known as stretchy onions.
Stretchy onions.
Man.
And actually, it was in the Wooded Kingdom after I finished the story. That's when you get to do the Koopa races, and that was actually when I learned how to do the long jump, dive jump, cap throw.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I got through the entire game, got most of the moons without ever even knowing how to do that. And then I had a really hard time trying to get first place on that race in the Wooded Kingdom. And people are like, oh yeah, you just need to do this. And I was like, do what? Oh. Yeah, as far as Seaside Kingdom, that one, it's just a really it's a fun water land kind of hybrid. But what I really liked, especially when I was playing with the Joy-Con, when you jump into the water, because the lore in that kingdom is that the water's supposed to be fizzy, carbonated water.
Okay.
The Joy-Con fizzled, and that one was a lot of fun.
That's sweet.
And then of course Bowser's Kingdom, the feudal Japan castle.
Yeah.
That was just awesome to go through.
Yeah, which I mean, even that level, it just is like it's just like a throwback to like Ninja Gaiden, you know, like that's what like there's just it feels like there's so many things in this game. Logan, what about you? Like just kind of top 2, top 3 levels.
Top 2, I would definitely have to say that the Metro Kingdom is probably number 1. I had so much fun doing everything in those, between jump roping, RC cars, finding band members, playing Donkey Kong like in a 3D world, helping them kind of get everything back together, or jumping off cars onto light posts and then turning into a ball of electricity and zooming up. Like that was such a cool. In the boss fight, the opening boss fight with the giant mecha caterpillar and the tanks, like, dude, that was in the trailer, and that had me sold right there. That was the most amazing thing. I almost want to play that level again just to do that.
I want multiplayer with those tanks. Let's go. Come on.
Yeah, let's just do Battle of Tanks or World of Tanks with Mario Odyssey. Yeah. That would be great.
With the Sherm tank.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. I'm gonna say that after that, Mushroom Kingdom. Being a huge throwback to Mario 64, it felt right at home going back there. The first thing I did as soon as I got there, I didn't even go to the castle. They're like, "Oh, go see. There's something wrong at the castle," and I'm like, "Yeah, there's always something wrong at the castle. I want to go look around."
Yeah.
Don't you worry. I'll get to the castle when I'm good and ready. And then I went and found Yoshi, and I was so happy.
Yeah.
And I went hopping around as Yoshi everywhere. I was just like, I want to know where I can go. It's like all over the place. It was great. And
please never make that sound again.
That's somebody's gonna clip that, and it's gonna be like a tone now, and I'm gonna regret it. Just I don't know how to do that with being able to wear skin with the costume looking like Super Mario 64 again. That was great. I tried to look into the sunlight in the Peach's castle to see if it would take me to the secret level. I don't know if it's a lock that something that I gotta break the gate for to be able to check it out later, but that was so cool. I was so happy that existed.
I'm not sure what just happened with the audio, so I'm sorry, guys. I don't know. Like, it was. We're good now, but something. I think it might be on my end. Like, you guys were both frozen solid, and Logan, it was like blah, 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 blah. So,
okay, so it wasn't just me. Okay, for me, you guys were frozen.
Okay, yeah, maybe it was all of us. Chat's like, is that supposed to be like that? No. So hopefully we're back. Hey, we do it live, you know? What do you do? What do you do? So,
everything I said was the most amazing thing. I could never say any of that again. It was too precious.
That's a bummer. Well, we'll have to keep on going. Definitely for me, the Mushroom Kingdom was awesome. You know, it was I couldn't believe that I was going back into that level, and then unlocking the 64 costume was like, I was just like, this is so rad. I was in that costume forever until I needed to switch to Caveman to be able to unlock some moons, you know. So, as far as my other favorites, like, I definitely loved going back to I shouldn't say back. I say going back to the moon because it reminded me of Galaxy, right? It reminded me of Super Mario Galaxy, and just the gravity was different. You know, did anybody else get the never-ending story vibe from the the castle on the moon? Anybody?
Oh
No.
yeah, yes. Where you're talking about like the ivory tower in the
Yes.
princess's name. Yeah, that did feel like
I was
I
like,
know that
Bastion,
I
say
couldn't
my
put it
name.
dude. I'm glad you put a name to that because that like it felt like there was something very weird. Like I'd seen that before, and it totally makes sense now. That's oh man, I totally forgot about that.
Snake in the chat. There we go. Okay, we're good. So they did clip it. So that's cool. That's cool. We'll have to get a remix maybe. Like that would be great. But
Thanks for making the internet a better place.
yep, there
Thanks,
we go.
guys.
Kirby Geek mentioned that the Luncheon Kingdom was one of her faves, and I loved that level too. It just was like it just felt like a Mario level. It was like this needs to be here, you know, like, and getting to capture like the frying pan bros, right?
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
that was fun.
Oh,
So
dude, I clipped so much of that. Like every time I was frying pans, thinking Batman when he's just like throwing batarangs at the gate, and finally like one hits, and it's like bink, and he's like first time. That was just so great.
First try.
So, all right. Well, that's the levels. Let's move on. We got a lot of cool talking points here. We've kind of, I mean, look, we've kind of just threw the notes out. We kind of gone over all this stuff, but there are definitely a few things that I really want to make sure we talk about. It's the nods to older games, and we've mentioned a few here. And if you guys see if there's any that aren't on the list, please please bring them up. But the very first thing, and we've talked about it some, but getting to go into 8-bit and play those levels was so fun to me, because it was like, not only like we got Mario Maker, you know, a few years ago, and that added some really cool things to the Mario formula. But this took it up a whole notch, where you're playing on a cylinder running around, and some of these areas you run all the way to one side and then you basically turn a corner. And then I actually walked back for a second, and the camera, the way it didn't move straight on, it showed me like almost like I was standing to the side of a painting, and I was like, this is awesome. You know, this is really cool. I've heard complaints that, oh, this game's too easy. After you complete the game, I want you to find the 8-bit level in the Mushroom Kingdom. Like, my chat was like, my chat was like, Scrap Gear in particular was like, this took me forever. Kirby Geek's like, oh no, not this part. You know, like,
Yeah.
It's like, good, I'm not alone here.
That 8-bit part is brutal.
That was
Oh,
so
man.
hard. I saw you streaming that, and I was like, I haven't been there. And then I saw you jump out of the kingdom. I was like, I can go there. And then I was like, I'll beat this on lunch, and then I'll probably find some stuff out for the spoiler. No, like 2 days lunch periods. I still haven't beat that thing. I'm like, I need to sit down, and I just need to like focus in, because that is some hard Mario, man.
Even Snake Madness is like, he got wrecked. But here's what I love about it, is they were like, hey, here's a nod to all of you people that cut your teeth on 8-bit Mario. And it was probably harder than some of the stuff we had to do back in the day. It was like Lost Levels level of torture. But I still had the smile on my face the entire time. Like, there was laughing and just like, oh, I blew it there. And like, it was all about mastering the patterns and like remembering that you can duck with a trigger. You don't have to try to hit down on the stick. And
wait, what?
Yeah.
You could. Oh.
That's right, folks. You just experienced Captain Logan's mind being blown live. And if you're just listening in audio, It's like there's smoke right now.
I did not know that.
Have those little black spiky guys been ruining your life?
Oh yeah, those guys can go like they could just, you know.
We know where they
Into
can go.
oblivion.
Yeah.
We know where they can go.
Yeah, you know where those little spiky guys can go.
So, continuing on, like we got to see a lot of 8-bit Mario stuff. You mentioned, Logan, seeing the outfits turn, the outfits go 8-bit, so seeing like Captain Caveman Mario go 8-bit, seeing Mario Maker Mario, essentially, where he's got his construction gear on, like all of it. It's really cool touches. I wasn't expecting to see that. I was expecting him to just turn back into 2D Mario, and Kirby Kirby Geek says, as soon as I passed that part with the little spiky guys, I immediately died. Jumped into a bullet bill, like almost immediately, and was like, I give up. But
The best part about those 8-bits is when they did 8-bit, but then you had to jump out, interact with the 3D part, and then jump back into the 8-bit. Like that was design, like thinking on multiple planes. Like you're playing a 2D game, you got to jump out, do a 3D part, and then jump back into a 2D game to progress. Like that's some imagination. Like try thinking about that kind of stuff when you're just making like a regular game. And that's great.
Yeah, like watching the bullet bills come in and out of 3D even just on that section was so cool. So cool. So Snake saying, I like when he rode the T-Rex off the edge. Yeah, that's what we talked about that a little earlier. So Donkey Kong. Like as much as I've just been listening to so much history of Nintendo and Mario, and Donkey Kong is that's the beginning of Jumpman, right? That's the beginning. And seeing Pauline and then getting to play a variation of Donkey Kong, like they didn't just kind of like make a little like nod to it. They're like, no, here's what it was like. Go ahead, go ahead. I think the only thing it was missing was the hammer, right? To be able just to smash the barrels. But
that would have been nice.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
So
I kind of hope that those levels, like I hope that that kids get to play those levels and then have like the parents sit there and be like, what you're doing right now is what all I had back in the day. And then they get to go and experience that. They get to go on a hunt and try and find like Donkey Kong and be like, this is what Donkey Kong was. And this was like the epitome of video games back in the 80s. Like this is all we had, and it worked out well. And then they can go watch King of Kong's Fistful of Quarters and learn that some guys never leave the 80s and just be able to experience that.
At least
themselves.
their hair never leaves the 80s. Every time I say that to my kids, like, this is what games were, they're like, that explains why you're so sad. I'm like, okay. Cool. Thanks.
Aww.
Thanks, kids. So, this is probably one of the funniest ones for me, and especially on stream, and Scrap Gear was in there for that. I had not planted anything. At least the larger bulbs, which kind of resemble radishes from Super Mario Brothers 2, and Mario holds it above his head. So I pull the thing up and put it above my head, and I was like, this is like Mario 2. Like, I got probably way more excited than I should have, and Scraps in the chat like, have you not done that yet in the game? And I'm like, no. It was in other parts, He's like, okay, that explains your excitement.
Yeah, because in the Luncheon Kingdom, there are actually radishes that you pull up from the ground.
No way! Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! As soon as we're
and
done,
that, ladies and gentlemen, is witnessing Josh's mind being blown.
Yeah. We gotta get
There's
scrap before
literally
the
smoke.
yeah. we gotta get scrap gear before the night's out. So, the next thing we kind of talked about is how the Bowser flashbacks and just kind of that end boss fight, which was awesome. All of Mushroom Kingdom, just kind of a real throwback to the original 3D Mario, which we talked about. And like I was in there for a while, and I'm like, I don't want to finish all this level. I'm leaving. So I'm like, I'm saving this. So I'm excited to jump back into it. One of the things that I noticed when I made it to Metro City is when you do that matching game. And that was the first time I did the matching game where you got to throw your hat at the throw Cappy at the different items that are kind of just spinning, and you got to match all four.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah, the music is literally from Mario 3 when you play the matching
Yep.
game. I was like, what? That was, I think, one of the first things I actually tweeted out. Like, I'm like, I hope this isn't too spoilery. You know, you never know with people, but
Yeah.
And
they did it so well too. Like it felt, man, being able to hit those items was 100 times easier. It was so much fun to be able to get in there and just be like, I know what I'm doing here. I know what I'm doing here. And then you just throw your hat and you're just like, yeah, moon, what? And then you walk out. And then, yeah, that's such a great.
I was actually happy I wasn't streaming it because more times than not, I thought I was lined up and I'd throw my hat at an angle and hit the one to the side and it wouldn't be the right one. Be like, come on! I'd get like 2 or 3 of them and then the last one like goes flying. I'm like, no, why? So, let's see, what else we got here? Just the classics, the classic Mario outfits. Like I went out and bought a second 30th anniversary amiibo so that the Mario amiibo, so that like I'm like, I know it's gonna unlock something in this game. Like I know it's gonna unlock something. Well, it unlocked something you could just buy, so I didn't need the thing. But like after the fiasco that was Zelda of everybody trying to find all the old amiibo, I'm like, hey, my Walmart has some of these. The cases are messed up. I'm just gonna buy one so I have it. And nobody was hunting for them quite like I thought they were going to be. Which it's probably good because it doesn't anger people when they're like, what do you mean I have to try to find the Smash Bros Mario? Like he's long gone,
Yeah. As far as like the costumes, because I've got all of my amiibo are free from their boxes, Josh. I played most of the game.
It's the proper way.
You monster.
Yep.
It's the best way.
I played most of the game as Luigi because that's one of the costumes you get, and I was like, oh, you can get some extra special stuff. Nice. Very nice.
It's amiibo everywhere.
They're so beautiful. Look at that. They're glowing and they're so pristine.
Aren't yours basically
dusty.
locked up behind glass? Mine's just in plastic. I mean,
this is all unlocked right now. They can leave whenever they want.
I can't even
It's like
look.
Toy Story.
I can't even look at the screen.
Oh, I can't wait till I have till my family have our own place again, because then I can put mine all out on display. But right now, space is limited.
So, guys, is there any other? Yeah, Kirby. That's what she always tells me. I just like having prisoners. That's what she refers to all my amiibos. I'm like, hey, I'm getting my champion amiibos tomorrow. She's like, oh, more prisoners for your collection. I'm like, oh, there goes my joy. So,
I would be remiss if we didn't talk about some of the favorite captures that we, because like the little pokey-nosed bird on the Bowser level was one of my favorites, and like the caterpillar on the Lost Worlds one. Hated the gliding lizard thing. Creepy, super creepy. Glad that didn't take very much out of the game, because not happy about that. But I mean, like, Scrap Gears, what were a couple of years that you really enjoyed?
Well, I mean, Goomba, like being a Goomba with a Mario mustache and hat, that's just awesome. There were a couple of levels that I just ran around as a Goomba because I could.
For sure.
Or a Tower of Goomba.
For sure. You mentioned that bird, and I loved that bird, like with the beak. I thought that was great. So
that was such a fun mechanic, and the boss fight for that too, with the mecha wooden brutals. Like that fight was awesome.
Oh, that was one of the when they all came together like Voltron, I was like, this is rad. This is rad.
Yeah.
So
oh man.
But any other captures, Scrap, that you really liked?
I mean Bowser and Yoshi,
right?
That put them in the game and let you play as those characters.
Yeah.
I am a little bummed that Luigi is nowhere to be found in this game except for the costume. And actually, apparently, if you go into the Bowser, the final cutscene at the wedding, and you go to fight Bowser in the Luigi outfit, he's like, "Your outfit looks really familiar, but I can't place it." He's like, man.
Oh my gosh! Is that the outfit the younger brother always wears?
You look a little shorter. Were you wearing platforms before?
So, which that kind of leads to a good question, and I'm going to save it for a sec. Kirby Geek said, "What were some things that you wanted to capture but couldn't?" Anything come to mind? I just remember those little spiny guys at the beginning, when I threw my hat, or the little yellow Goombas. I'm like, I just want to be a little yellow Goomba. Like, why can't I?
I'm pretty sure they're just called Spinies, but the red-shelled spiky guys that Lukidu drops, I tried so hard and they just kept bumping back, and I'm like, dude, no, like, what do I gotta do? Just let me know. I just want to be you for a little bit. I love you.
What do I gotta do?
I really wanted that.
I would have liked to have been a Koopa.
Okay.
Just like a Koopa Trooper.
Yeah.
Like throughout the entire game, like you race against them, and then there's the one got the mini game where you walk in a line. But other than that,
is that the police Koopa? Were you getting Mario tipsy? What do you mean walking a line?
Some of those circles were not as straight as they could have been.
Oh, the circle game? No, thank you. I'm like, oh, I got this. No, I don't. Okay, cool. This is live. People are watching me not do good circles. Sweet.
The moon was definitely the hardest.
Oh, I'm like, I'm not doing another one. Nope. But I wouldn't mind being able to capture the Nintendog. Every time I threw my hat, he caught it. I'm like, stop that, but no. So you're mentioning Luigi, like there's a few different things Nintendo could do, because on the Wii U we had the new Super Mario Brothers Wii U, and then we had the new Luigi Brothers, right? Or the Luigi U, or whatever they ended up calling it. I don't remember. I have it behind me. What if we saw like a full DLC that was just Luigi? Like, I see Scrap Gear, like the look on his face right now.
Yeah. I'd be down for that. Actually, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to get through and collect all the moons as quickly as possible. Partly because I wanted to be able to review the end game content as well, but also I was hoping, like, once I go and collect all those moons, kind of like in Super Mario Galaxy, when you get all 120 stars or however many it is, you get to play as Luigi. So I was thinking, like, oh, is that what they're going to do in this one? Is, you play through the entire game, you get all the moons, and then you get to play the game as Luigi. That didn't happen.
So, I think it would be fun if the DLC was a up and roll. We were actually Peach, and she got her float ability, and we were going through the game saving Mario from Bowser.
I'd play that too, yeah.
I want to see that.
Like, if as long as it's not like, hey, here, for $15 you can play through the exact same Super Mario Odyssey game as Peach or Luigi or Rosalina or Toad. I mean, as long as it's a reasonable price, I would play it, just because it's a different way to play a game I really, really enjoy.
Yeah, and I mean, and the thing is too, like that Luigi U game, that was a basically what they did is they had the timer stop at like 100 seconds, and it was all new levels. Like it wasn't just a like you weren't just playing the same levels that were in, so maybe he's who knows what kind of adventure he's doing, off in the whatever. Maybe instead of seeing a Luigi DLC for Odyssey, hey, maybe we get a new Luigi's Mansion in the very near future. And the DLC for Odyssey, maybe it's saved for an adventure with all of the Koopa kids and Bowser Jr.
Yeah.
And does anybody ever talk about that? Like, what's the lore or the canon there? Like, did the Koopa kids and Bowser Jr. have a different mom?
Well, the Koopa kids were never actually his kids. They
I
they
think
were
he
just
adopted them.
yeah.
Okay.
There was never like any official.
This is what keeps me up at
thing.
night. So, and I forget I can Google.
I would love to see an expansion to this world. There's so much of this world that could be easily patched in to send us to new continents and stuff where maybe there is just like a grasslands kingdom where that's where all the Koopa kids are hanging out and that's where the Boos are hanging out and stuff. And you just take the Odyssey and you fly over to those ones and you can play as Peach or Mario or Bowser, and you get to go check out those new continents and play with them.
Excuse me. Yeah, I mean anywhere, and just any more. Like, let's just get more of this game because the way it's laid out and the way they allow us to explore things. Like, I mean, to be honest, the second time I fought Bowser, I was like, oh, I'm already at the end. Like, I didn't like it. Whatever. It didn't click. I didn't know I hadn't had anything spoiled, and I was like, well, the game was kind of short, but man, it was still really good. And then and then it's like, oh no, you still got like 4 or 5 worlds to go. Like, oh my gosh, like this is awesome. And because I was looking at it in the basically going, I'm gonna have a ton to explore after this, like a ton to explore. So, but yeah, I mean, DLC is definitely something I want to see for this game. Whether it be like like I said, like maybe it's more of a Mario 3 style where each boss is just one of the Koopa kids, and then get Bowser Jr. in the mix or whatever. Maybe they do something entirely different. Maybe the who knows, maybe the Brutals have like they go crazy and we have to play a good portion of the game as Bowser because they're upset that they didn't get paid for planning that wedding even though it wasn't their fault it didn't happen. Like I don't know, but there's so much potential, and everything was super fun. Now it may be one of those things. Kirby Geek says, "Oh, I love how I said I wanted more DLC, and then a day or two later, Nintendo announces Xenoblade DLC." Yeah, it will be a strange misstep if this game doesn't get DLC. When we're seeing Zelda get DLC, we're seeing Fire Emblem Warriors get DLC, we're seeing Xenoblade, we're seeing Splatoon, we're seeing ARMS. We saw Mario Kart back on the Wii U. It'll be strange. If we don't, my fingers are crossed that we're gonna get an entirely separate game, just like Galaxy 2. That would be just fine as well. It's like, no, we're not even gonna. We have all these assets. This game did so well. Give it 3 to 4 years, and we'll drop Odyssey 2 on the Switch. Hey, fine by me. Like I would gladly go on another adventure like that. So, yeah.
Is it too soon to throw out the game of the year question? Should that hold off for when we've had a little more time to kind of let this simmer?
I think so. only because we're at an hour and 10 minutes. So just imagine had we done all the levels, this would
Yeah.
be, it was no joke. It was going
We'd
to
only be halfway through.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
there's so much more too.
I know. We've hardly scratched the surface, but this has been a ton of fun. So, Logan, tell everybody all the places they can find you.
CAPT_LOGUN. I am on Twitter. I'm on Twitch, Instagram. Pretty much most of the social things where I want to be found is going to be under Captain Logan. You can always hit me up. If you like Heroes of the Storm, I've got some bundle codes for some of the heroes there that I'm going to be giving away on stream in the coming week. Since I went to BlizzCon, a buddy of mine gave me some, so I'll be doing that. With Doom coming out, I'm probably going to be streaming that as well too. So twitch.tv/CAPT_LOGUN.
Awesome. Scrap, tell us all the places, man.
So fun story. After one of our podcasts, me and my co-hosts on Geek Ghost Gaming decided to see what would happen if you Googled my username. If you Google Scrap Gear, all one word, all my stuff pulls up. Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Mixer, all that stuff.
Nice.
So yeah, if you just Google Scrap Gear, like that front page will just be everything.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, we had one Kirby Geek ask one more pretty good question. Do you guys think Cappy will be included in Mario's Smash moves in the next new Smash game? And I hope so.
That would be nice.
And if the thing that I answered her in chat, I'm like, he'll end up being like Kirby. There's a you know how Kirby just inhales everybody and then takes their powers. Like what could you imagine? Like you throw Cappy on somebody and then you just take control of them and they're like, I can't. You just walk them right off the edge, and then your hat comes back on, but you're completely vulnerable while you're just standing there like a punching bag. You know, I don't know.
I'd go for that.
Yeah, the potential. Who knows?
Can I please see Ganondorf with a Cappy? That's... Get me that fan art, internet.
Say it one more time because you cut out on my end.
Oh, yeah. Ganondorf with a Cappy hat and mustache. Fan art.
There you go.
Captain Logan on internet. This is your job now. Make that fan art happen.
So, guys, you're going to find me Twitter at N64Josh. Everything's N64Josh. Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, Farmers Only, all the places. Facebook, Snapchat, all there. All N64Josh. This show typically comes out on Tuesdays. This, of course, is a special Thursday edition, and I want to try to get these in as often as I can. I want to get to it. I have a minimum of 2 shows coming out a week. That's the goal. This Sunday morning, I believe it's 10 a.m., but just have your notifications on or check Twitter. Eric's from Eric's Gaming, who covers a lot of like Monster Hunter, Nintendo stuff. He does Destiny stuff. He's going to be joining me. He's from across the pond, so that's why we're doing kind of a little. It's like 5 in the evening for him instead of like 4 a.m. to come at the normal time. So that'll be Sunday morning. And that'll be a lot of fun. Don't forget, get your free book from Audible. Go to audibletrial.com/NPC. The chair I'm sitting in, OP Seat. Go to opseat.com. Use coupon code N64Josh to save $10. And if you're thinking about starting your own podcast, go to podbean.com/NPC. And that helps support the show. Also, if you're enjoying this show, go hit us with a 5-star on iTunes. I'd really, really appreciate that. You will find the notes for this episode at thelootcave.com/NPC46. I do have the URL for the new Nintendo site, and depending on how my weekend goes, I might actually get to start working on that. So I will be looking for contributors for that site. I would suggest joining our Discord, which is one of the first links in the show notes, just to be able to connect with me that way and get more details or whatever. So I've already had a number of people reach out to that want to get on board with that. So it'll be a lot of fun. It'll be a lot of fun. Thank you guys so much for being here. Scrap Gear, Captain Logan. everybody in the chat, thank you so much. Game Smarter, Kirby Geek, Hatred Shaped Like a Man, aka Destinot, Snake Madness. If I miss somebody, I'm sorry. If you're just lurking, thank you so much. Hey guys, we'll see you Sunday. Take it easy. All right, chat. Let's go. Yeah, who? Oh my gosh.
Are you guys playing that new Hulu game that just? I just downloaded it. I haven't booted it up yet, but I was just wondering if anyone got any.
Yeah, I just got live TV on Hulu today. We were watching the Seahawks game on it actually.
Oh, nice.
We're gonna go raid somebody. We're still live, so don't say anything too incriminating about yourself or anything.
Okay.
So, yeah, they will clip it.
Jeez. Oh God. I gotta figure out how to delete that from the internet.
Oh no.
It's there.
Yeah,
that's gonna be a weekend job.
It's never going away. So.
Oh man.
Were you guys bummed out that you could only do 10 high for the Goombas?
Oh, I haven't tried it past 10 high, so.
I can't find a way to get it past 10 high. And I was kind of bummed about that, but yeah.
That's 10. That's pretty tall. That's good.
There might be one place that I can check and see, or that I'm at right now, that I can check and see if I can get it higher than 10. I will have to count to see how high it is because I have to keep running around in a circle. But
oh my god!
Did you guys like the Snow Kingdom racing? Like, that was fun. That was like Excite Bike level fun.
Oh, the
where you were the big guy and you're just bouncing around.
Mm-hmm.
Who we going to, Josh?
Hannah Bart.
Hannah Bart. Let's go raid.
We've hosted her a few times. So, guys, hit her with an N64 raid. That'd be awesome. Thank you so much for being here. Seriously appreciate you guys watching show after show. You guys are the best. So we'll see you very soon. What did she say?
No spoilers? Should we be coming here?
Yeah, we're fine. We'll be good. We'll be good. Take it easy, guys. Thank you so much.
See ya.